Who's asking?
It all depends on who's asking that too.
All right.
If you're asking who's asking, I'm asking who's asking who's asking.
Let's get this going. Talk to me, ladies and gentlemen. You're on the mic with Mike Cianan at 5 o'clock. It is Sunday here in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Are you done? Are you done?
Did Cianan
Put your
just...
fucking feet down, you piece of
I don't
shit.
think you can even hear me. Was I too far away?
No, you could hear it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was very clear.
I almost wish I couldn't hear it.
I know, me too.
Well, both of you.
You see how easy Cianan's spirits are broken?
It's funny. I wish you guys could have seen it. He was like leaning back, feet up and everything.
Thought he was the
stop, and he
shit.
kind of straightened down. And just, I still love him.
It's the only reason why we're together.
Welcome one. Welcome all to episode 65 of the None of Our Business podcast.
What?
Okay.
No, you don't actually have to do it over. You know, people.
I fucking do. Welcome one. Welcome all to episode 65 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your hosts, Philly fanatic, philanthropy, philosophy, Peabody P. Steezy, Sane, Silent Tempo, and one, Filipanos. We have Cianan, CNN Dunkaroos.
Did he just?
That bird, that is a bird.
He did the
R2D2?
I'm not used to that.
C note, C notice, C section, section 8, C3PO, C4, see your way out of here. We got Cianan Duncan.
Ding.
And I'm Joe. Welcome. It's been a full week. It's been a full week, and I feel like we're in a good place right now. You know what I'm saying? I just want to groove to this. Groove to this. Groove.
Can't do that for that long.
That was good too. Oh, man.
Let me take a break. Okay.
I hope
Okay.
you guys are listening to this in the ugliest of traffic and thinking to yourself, I'm so glad these guys are alive.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, you know what? We're glad we're alive too.
You can listen to us.
Speak for yourself. Wait, what?
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
No, I'm glad I'm alive too.
I didn't even believe that. Did you even believe that?
Tomato, potato,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Being alive is overrated.
Well, I mean, shit. Sorry, Joe.
No, go ahead. Go.
I don't know. Sometimes, I mean,
Sometimes.
Sometimes. When did you become Latino, Peter?
I'm over here laughing at him snorting at the same time. Oh, this is gonna be a great episode, guys.
Oh, there's so much pain behind this laughter.
I'm in fucking tears.
as I was saying, sometimes,
Yes.
being alive can be kind of shitty because you go through some things. I kind of wonder who has the best life or who's living.
It's obviously me.
I mean, honestly,
what would be considered? What is the best life?
life is subjective, you know.
Right.
That's a fact.
You can be poor as fuck and still have a pretty fucking dope life that that you enjoy. You live with your means, and I feel like life or happiness is subjective.
Same thing with being rich. You can have all the money in the world and still be.
You still
depressed.
kill yourself, You still be depressed. You still commit suicide. Like we know it. I think we've had a conversation about this before.
I wonder.
It's definitely way more comfortable to cry in a BMW than it is on a bike, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like BMWs.
That's because you're a socialist.
What?
You fucking.
You're a commie.
You know they build stuff for the Nazis, right? Or is that Mercedes? That's Mercedes. My bad.
I think that was Mercedes.
In a black Mercedes.
BMW, but I think BMW had there were like 3 owners, right?
Or as auto mechanics like to call them big Mexican wieners. I don't understand it, but I guess.
I think it was a couple German dudes.
Yeah,
a couple German dudes and an Italian guy.
Right. Oh,
oh, this sounds like a joke. Go on.
And they were was it
a couple of Italian dudes?
I think
Mexican
BMW
dudes?
was also involved in the documentary Dirty Money.
Were they?
Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Check out the documentary Dirty Money on Netflix, and then let me know if I'm right or wrong.
As a representative of every one of our listeners, when you say check it out, It's like, wait, you want us to do the work for a thing you brought up on your show?
I'm bringing the audience involved, you dick. God, Philly. We do this all the time. We say, ask our listeners, give us your thoughts and opinions when we can do our research on our own.
Well, I was just taking a jab at you. I feel like the listeners like it when we fuck with you, so.
I don't like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want us to keep fucking with Keenan, go ahead and slide into the DMs and tell us if you want us to keep fucking with Keenan.
The results are going to be staggering.
Keenan said, "You son of a bitch."
Now it's going to be just like,
suddenly we go viral.
I'm like, God damn it.
It's okay, Keenan. It happens, buddy.
See, this is why I cry.
Help us make fucking with Keenan go viral.
Wait, which reminds me, nobody sent me a dick pic.
That's very good. I'm glad nobody. You sounded kind of disappointed that nobody sent you a dick pic.
I thought I had some energeticness to my voice. Nobody.
He's like an actor practicing his line. Nobody. Nobody. Whew. Nobody.
Nobody.
But I was okay.
Sometimes.
I slipped out like I did not mean that, but it's funny because I thought we had listeners who would
send you dick pics,
but would be into that joking mentality,
right?
Where they would do it just to fuck with me, or just to fuck with the the show and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, they're joking around, so I'm gonna send him one anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was kind of hoping
maybe our listeners aren't as loyal as we thought. Huh?
I like to think that
do you want to take a tally?
People don't want to send him dick pics. Like
that's probably what it really is.
For being respectful.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Well, but if at any point you want to disrespect him and send him a big veiny, hard cock,
just the hardest of the cocks, just a
why is it gotta
veiny
be
one.
veiny?
Hey, listeners, to all the listeners who are listening on their drive, please lower your windows. We're going to be talking about veiny cocks for the next 5 minutes.
Oh my God, it's so different than our last episode.
If you had a child in the car when this was playing, I'm sorry that we didn't say it louder.
You know what happened is last week when we had Jason on, the vibe was just so very positive, and he was able to quail our thirst for giant fat cocks.
Speak for yourself.
Veiny cocks, by the way.
I still want them.
It's all our repressed emotions that we couldn't express last week.
Okay, so that's why you're dicking with me.
I just realized I forgot to take my supplements earlier today, guys.
Oh, what a tragedy.
First world problems.
First world problems.
The most expensive pee in the world is United States pee.
Speaking of first world problems, Joe, turns out, yes, the coronavirus is getting kind of heftier than normal, right? You still think?
Joe still isn't convinced. He said, until I'm laying in the bed dying with a fat veiny cock in my mouth because it's the only thing that can save me, only then will I be convinced.
Dude, that would be crazy if men's dicks could save the coronavirus. And you can only get saved unless they jizzed on you.
I got it right here. Right here.
All right, guys. This podcast definitely has to speak to people older than 12 years old. So why don't we wrap this up?
Oh, really? Mr. Veiny Dick wants to make it more adult?
I know.
Okay.
Weren't you just the one that said that you wanted more dicks?
Yes. And you had a tally about fucking with me.
Hey, changing your mind is a strength.
Oh, God dang it.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's a friend of the show, Deech. He said it best. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go.
So I don't like that.
But see, I'm not about to fear this virus. Like, what's that going to do for me?
Right.
What is being in fear of this virus going to do for me?
Sure.
It just doesn't seem that somebody who says that treasures the life that they have. Well, I have it till whatever it is, whatever.
Do. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the best way to live. Like, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. And like, as long as I'm living it, I'm cool.
Yeah,
like,
but see, that means you could be like eating, well, I hate to put Philly on blast, but like having pizza every day. So I'm going like, well,
what's wrong with that?
If my, liver,
fucking Michelangelo, dude.
Whatever,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
whatever ruins your body
doing with your life?
God damn it, Philly. The point is that you can start doing bad stuff whenever you want, and then you could prevent going early by treasuring some things about your livelihood, than just saying fuck it.
I just realized you've been judging me secretly for eating pizza every day.
I don't eat secret. It's open. It's all in the open.
POS.
By the way, you said this year you weren't going to be eating pizza. How much pizza have you had so far?
I know we had at least 4. Yeah.
I've had a lot of pizza. But you know what else I've had? A lot of other successors that said to me, you know what?
It's not the pizza.
It's not the pizza.
It's not the pizza.
It's not the pizza because I'm still kicking ass at the gym too, you know? So yeah, I agree with you guys. You're right, Keenan.
I just think that if it for me, it was like, well, why not? If you're gonna go, it ends when it ends. Well, then why not just do all the mad, crazy drugs and eat horrible and drink horrible stuff, and like you might as well just do that. Get super.
Meanwhile, Joe's got that Jack Nicholson face from that meme where you're like, yes.
So you're a good exception, Joe. But I just meant like,
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why not.
Why not?
Because then you're just giving into what people always want to do, which is the lowest common denominator. Why not strive to be greater, even in the face of death? That's what Goku would do.
Straight up.
Well, yeah, if you have that mentality.
Which I do.
Oh my God,
I live that. What are you talking about?
Why not strive to be greater, even in the face of inevitable odds?
You should absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Would you just, if you found out that tomorrow was going to be the last day on Earth, would you just be like, well, fuck it, and put a bunch of shrooms in and maybe some acid and like that's like the complete waste of your last day on Earth?
Yeah,
right?
it would.
How?
Keenan's like, wait, what?
You're doing everything you wanted to do, so
yeah,
that's like,
but that's not what I want to do.
Thing.
If it's like if I know that it's my last day, I'm not gonna get all fucking high because then I'm not gonna get to enjoy the day. So I'm just gonna be fucking in this euphoric state.
Perfect.
Where I'm just
so you heard it from the guy who does all kinds of shit all the time, and he wants to. So how would you spend your last day, Joe? And then Keenan.
Oh, that's a good question. How would I spend with my kids and Sonia?
And just be chilling.
Just have a moment of just happiness and just family. I mean, if they want to kick it with me too, they might not want to.
On some, start seeking friend for.
Yeah. Like
that Steve Carell, Keira Knightley
movie. And then everybody's like, "Nah, fuck it."
You find out that they hate you and shit.
Is that what the end of the movie is about?
The seeking a friend for the end of the world. Yeah.
So it's like the end of the world. He wants everybody to be. Well,
yeah. His like
he wants
the opening scene is like they find out they're in the car. They find out that it's the end of the world and shit. Like in 2 months. And his wife's like, I want a divorce. And then she just literally runs out the car in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, like it's like fucked up.
We know what I loved about that movie. Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched it. What minute are we in?
12.
Okay, so wait, I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler alert. That movie really ends in the world ending. So that's what I thought. Well, that's what I liked.
It
about
would
that
suck
movie.
if it didn't, and that would be kind of pointless.
No, because there are some movies that will allude to that, and then when it comes to it, like
that's every disaster movie.
Shit, it didn't happen.
Yeah, any disaster.
So the fact that it ended, with fucking legit, the world ending.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Welcome to Frenzies. If you watch that, you'll get it.
Yeah.
Keenan, how would you spend your last day?
I would be spending it with Joe's kids and Sonia.
Wow. That's a clean burn. But no, seriously, you mentioned you'd be getting into drugs and shit like that?
Well, I mean, I would have to find it. So then it would be kind of pointless. I mean, like, where am I at in this scenario? Do I have access to anything I want?
He would be that fucking guy. Well, I don't know. Are we speaking hypothetically? Or is it?
If I say I do all the drugs, I can't do all the drugs.
Just paint an ideal scenario.
There is no idea scenario. It just ends. I'm standing in the middle of the street.
As a psychologist in training, Keenan, I have to tell you.
Psychologist in training?
Yeah.
Where are you training at?
Don't worry about it.
Is it Trump University?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
So I would suggest that you look into that.
Okay. Thanks. Anyway, the point is, if I'm like out in the middle of nowhere, like Joe's example for this movie, and I know the world's going to end, I can't do anything. I can't have my dream wish. That's it. Same thing if I'm like, driving a car and I get hit by, another car.
So, okay, let's say you can't do anything per se, but you have 24, maybe 48 hours. What would you do with those hours? That's the answer I'm looking for. Not some degree of pessimism. It's like, well, fuck it.
That's my choice.
Well, yeah, if that's your choice.
Yeah, you have to accept that, Philly.
It's true. I do.
Yeah, I would. I don't know. I would. Probably.
You would jack off, wouldn't you? Give me one out. No.
Why would I? I would rather have sex with somebody.
He'd
than
find
jack
an
off.
orgy. He'd find an orgy.
You would find an orgy, wouldn't you, Keenan?
That's close.
Like,
Yeah, I would like that.
Something along those lines.
Be surrounded by multiple women, banging everything out, just using all fingers and toes.
Keenan's like, we're going streaking in the quad. No, seriously. Like, if you had to think of anything, like if you had to just, okay, there's a scenario. You're in your car. You heard the news on the radio. Everyone has 48 hours left on this planet. Go.
I don't know. Probably just enjoy the scenery, I guess.
Nice.
I definitely want to be around people I love, though. I think so.
Yeah.
You know, which kind of sucks too, because I feel like I wouldn't be able to be around everyone who I love. You know, like obviously you guys would want to be around, you know, family too. I mean, Philly, you'd probably
probably end up. If there's enough time and it's like 48 hours, yeah, for sure.
I already said I'd be sitting with your kids and Sonia. So.
I mean,
Keenan's like, you guys thought I was. Keenan's like, you thought I was joking. I'd rather be chilling with you guys.
We would be together again.
Yeah,
we'd be doing one last pod episode for the rest.
But nobody would listen to it. We would get everybody on the pod. Anybody who wanted to come to the pod, come to the pod.
That sounds like my nightmare, bro. It'd be like too many things to mic up.
It'd be like, oh my God.
How am I supposed to edit this?
Well, the world
wouldn't need to.
It might still be there. It might be like rusted out, and some alien creature finds it, resurrect us, you know, from whatever DNA is left in the air.
And Keenan would make sure to leave plenty of DNA around.
He would leave all the DNA around. Can you imagine how savage like everyone would really get if they knew that it was the last day on Earth?
So is that what that movie was?
I feel like there would be a shitload of savagery. Yeah.
I
mean,
some people would straight up not give a fuck.
There would be people who want to just, you know, be with family and want to.
There'd be those people who like really just want to kill people.
But then there would be people who are like, "Fuck it! If it's the last day, then I'm gonna make sure this motherfucker dies."
Yeah.
You know, because I want.
And those people are the problem with society.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you never know until that scenario happens, so it's dormant until.
Wait, are you saying that you'd probably be one?
I did not. I neither confirm or deny my answer about, and I didn't tell you who I would. I mean, who I would be around with.
Well, you did already allude to the fact that you'd want to be around Joe, so now you're suspect.
You'd want to kill me, wouldn't you? Fuck you for everything. None of it mattered.
I'm tired of living in your shadow.
Did you fuck my wife?
What?
I fucked your wife.
You
son of a bitch.
We have this running joke that when we're like close to death, we ask, our last question is if the other person fucked our wife.
That's a running joke?
And then we say yes, and then you just die.
That's cool.
That's
like some Simon Pegg. And,
that's what'll happen with Key and I. They're like, whether it's on his deathbed or mine, he's gonna have to come to me or vice versa and be like, "Yo, but did you fuck my wife?"
And the answer is yes.
I fucked your wife.
I feel like the perfect example of your guys' friendship is that Simon Pegg from the Shaun of the Dead and his homie, the one who's like, "I'm sorry," and he farted and shit.
From Space.
I forget his name.
Nick Frost.
Yeah. Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. You guys were totally like basically that dynamic duo.
Are we Simon Pegg and Nick Frost? I'm Simon Pegg though. I'm the more successful.
Okay, that's fine. I'm writing it down. Wait, what? Whatever. I'll catch up to you, Joe. When my sign business blows up,
like
and I use them to like transport drugs.
I'm going to be working for you. I'm going to be doing sales for you.
You will
eventually.
That would be awesome. Would you do it? Would you both work for me? Really?
Whoa.
Like seriously?
Who said I'm gonna
sales and marketing? Hello.
This guy. I'm trying to imagine Keenan as my boss, and it scares me.
I treat you both so bad.
No, I wouldn't work for.
You'd be like a partnership.
I would work with you.
Well, we kind of already. No,
we already work together. Yeah. Look at us right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have the listeners vote. Would you rather have Keenan as your boss or as a business partner?
Why me? What the fuck?
Because it's fuck with Keenan Day. So it's actually a national holiday. Most people don't know about it.
I'm not writing this down.
If we can have Donut Day, we can have fuck with Keenan Day.
Actually, it should be a national holiday for this city because the MLS is back and LAFC and the 3252 are back in action.
Yeah,
we had a match today. Sunday. We record this on Sundays for you stupid asses who don't know.
Whoa, I'm not gonna let you talk to our listeners like that.
Well,
Our three
So
listeners.
fuck
I
you.
love them.
On behalf of our listeners, fuck you. Go on with your story.
But we record this on Sundays, and which is awesome for me today because usually our matches are on Sundays are around 7 p.m. So I usually miss the Sunday matches.
So you miss Sunday matches just to do the pod. That's really nice, Joe.
Well, yeah, this pod.
I appreciate. What sacrifices do you make, Philly?
This pod. Look, can I finish what the fuck I was saying before you fucking move to another subject?
That's right.
Fucking
Now you're in
asshole.
Keenan's shoes.
I'm sorry, you were saying, Joe?
Fuck you, Philly.
So I usually miss the Sunday matches because we do the podcast on Mondays and the podcast comes first. But thankfully today our match was at 2:30 p.m. So I was able to catch the match, and I was a little late today getting here. But
How was the was it a close match?
we won.
Like was it a shutout?
I mean it's 1-0.
Okay,
I mean,
that's fine.
you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
really
yeah.
consider that a shutout. Like,
yeah.
But it was a good match. We played Inter Miami CF, which is owned by David Beckham, who used to play for Carson. Fuck the Galaxy.
Oh, I was gonna say you don't even say their name. You say the city.
Yeah, it's his team, and he has a couple of other partners. But it was their first match. Like this was their new team, so this was their first match against LAFC, and they fucking lost.
So there's a
Rightly
third
so.
team now out here.
No, they're Miami, Inter Miami.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they're from Miami.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Philly, pay attention.
But yeah,
I'll try.
They lost, and we beat the shit out of them. Really cool thing. A couple of weeks ago, we have these things in football in general, like the fans. They do like these big ass banners. They call them tifos.
Oh yeah. I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah. So you saw the Kobe one we did a couple of days ago for the CONCACAF tournament, and then our tifo for this match, which is the opening match, was the Mandalorian.
No shit.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, we did
Nice.
a tifo painting. We did tracing even a couple of weeks before that, but that's what it was for the Mandalorian.
Nice.
And it's funny because Dallas, another team in the MLS, they also did a tifo, and it was like the Mandalorian, but it was like
It was shittier or bad?
it was like if my daughter decided she wanted to draw something, and then me as a father was like, oh, I'm gonna print that for her.
Damn! Wow.
That's how it looked. I swear to you.
You got some
Serious shit
you have
talking
to-
going on
you have to
there.
post the pictures.
I'll post the picture.
Yeah.
You can find it online.
Yeah.
But it sucks because they did that. They played yesterday. So people saw the Mandalorian. They're like, whoa, crazy. And then some of the fans, some of the supporters, like in the LAFC, were commenting and they were like, LAFC did it better and all this shit. But we hadn't released it yet. So, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Right.
you're not supposed to let people know what we fucking did.
Right,
It's
right,
supposed
right.
to be a surprise.
Right.
And I hit up some of the leadership and I was like, hey guys, there's some people on the MLS Instagram commenting that we did it better, the tifo, and I was like, we might want to stop that because they're not supposed to talk that shit.
Narc.
I don't give a fuck. Stupid asses. But we released it today and it fucking looked
Is it
dope
good?
as fuck. It
Okay.
looked really good.
You have to do a side-by-side comparison.
So I actually don't want to say anything because I'll tell you guys after the match. But there's something. There was a message left in Galactic Basic.
Oh.
Wow.
The game.
In on the tifo. I don't know.
Galactic Basic.
Yeah, for the
Speak English.
Okay, so for those unfamiliar with Star Wars, the basic language is called Galactic Basic, and that's so it's their form of communication. The way they talk.
Is it similar to Valley Girl talk?
No, but it's
It's like Klingon.
yeah, exactly. It's like
Is it that Iwa Jawa Doba Doba Jedi? No, it's not the. It's not the.
That's
It's not the Jabba the Hutt
it's
language.
no, that's I don't know what that one's called. It's
Huttian.
Huttian or something.
Huttonese.
Huttonese.
God.
But yeah, Galactic Basics. So there's a message for somebody in Galactic Basics. So we hope that MLS isn't like investigates what the fuck Galactic Basic is, because if they see what it says, they're gonna be like, oh yeah. I don't know if they're gonna post it. Maybe they cross-reference before they post it
That's
just to make
hilarious.
sure. But yeah, it's gonna be fucking funny if MLS posts it without knowing what the fuck it says in Galactic Basic.
Now, in reference to the galaxy and getting super, super far out, Philly, got ridiculously high last night with Joe.
It was
Really?
Friday. It was
Friday. See, I got so high.
It was a clear black night. No.
I didn't smoke a whole ton. I just really breathed it in.
Wait. So don't say with Joe, because it's gonna sound like I got fucking high too, like super high. You were the only one that got
Joe
fucking
did not.
high.
Joe was my
All right,
not my DD.
all right.
What do you
Nothing
call
to
it?
see here.
What do you call an assistant weed person?
I don't know, Cianan.
Designated dude. I was your designated dude.
Dad.
So my designated dude Joe was in the car as we were waiting for Anamanaguchi to perform at the Fonda
Which
Theater.
is a rock band?
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Let me
yeah.
just finish this one.
Well, that's it. I just got high. No, I got so high. I got really high that, remember on this podcast where I was like, I want to
You really want to get paranoid.
I want to get paranoid. So I didn't get paranoid like the government's listening to me paranoid, which I wish that happened. But I did get paranoid that I was getting really uncomfortable sickness, and I was gonna like barf like at the show.
So that's not paranoia. That's
it
just
wasn't.
sickness.
It wasn't.
Right,
So
right.
I guess I can't. I don't know how to get past that to get to the paranoia part.
Right.
But
Just get that high a few more times.
Okay. The cool thing was
Eventually, it's no longer fun.
okay. Club soda worked. Having club soda.
Let's get it straight. It was seltzer water.
It wasn't Perrier, but
Alka-Seltzer shit.
it was sparkling water. Apparently, for me, helped my highness come down. It was weird. It was so trippy. I don't know if that's for everybody, but it was a great remedy, and I'm gonna use it from now on in case I get to that mode.
So you felt like you had the bubble guts, and all of a sudden you did.
Yeah, it helped expand and burp out. Maybe whatever.
Joe laced whatever you were doing with.
I think
like,
he did.
X-Lax
I
and
think he
shit.
fucked
I
with
put
my
a little
shit.
bit of cum in it.
Oh god.
Your cum gets me feel high.
Straight up. What's up? No, but it was funny
Is this a
because
new
like
blend of cannabis oil?
I also drove like a G on the way over there. Joe witnessed it.
yeah.
One-handed U-turn and everything.
Yeah, he was like, fuck
Weed in my
this
hand.
traffic. I'm gonna go this way and then I'm gonna bust a bitch. And I was like, damn, Keenan, all right, see you next time.
Playing like some ghetto music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Me and Warren G.
It's
on a
funny because
regulate.
when we pulled into the parking lot, he busted out this joint and fucking got high. I was like, damn, all right, Keenan. And then when he put it out and he's just sitting there, we're waiting because we don't want to wait in fucking line.
Yeah.
Because it was a huge line. It was
It
around
was
the corner.
huge line.
And like we're just sitting there and he's just like moving around a little bit. And I'm like, Keenan, are you good? He's like, yeah, I think I'm high. I think I'm like really high. And he's like, my legs are a little numb. He was like, yeah, I'm pretty high. I was like, what? And then we were drinking some wine.
Yeah.
He brought some
I brought
Stella,
some wine.
Stella Black.
Stella Rosa Black. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
So you were crossfaded.
Oh, is that what that was?
that might have been. No, but you hadn't even had you been drinking before you picked me up?
No, I have not.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yes.
good. Okay. Yeah. So it couldn't have been a
It was-
crossfade.
No, it was when we parked in the parking lot.
Right.
But yeah, we were
Good.
just
Safety first.
It's a 5%. I mean, technically, what's the
14. A wine is
Stella's
14%. Yeah.
Oh, what happens if it?
He said, "Oh,
What happens if it
oh."
freezes? Does the wine separate?
If what?
If it freezes,
If it freezes, it froze earlier.
Oh, did
I
it?
had to thaw it out.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
That's why it
it
was cold. That's
white
why it was
wine
a
or
little
red
chilly.
wine?
yeah.
it's a red
Red?
sweet wine.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
red sweet wine.
You're not
Yeah.
supposed to make it cold.
No, you could chill it. You
Yeah?
can chill it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Although it tastes just as great.
Well, sure,
if it's warm.
sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But yeah, it was a nice contribute because it was Joe and I hanging out. But the whole experience was so crazy because I agree with Joe, and he mentioned it several times that we're here in our mid-30s, out to see a concert, drinking and smoking, having fun, as if no time separated between our teenage years till now.
We've been doing the same thing for 12 years, and in no way is that depressing.
No, but really, you
It was
reflect
fun.
on it, and you think, and I've come back to this a lot of times, but you think about how our parents were at our age,
Mhm.
and in no way were they like even remotely close to as fucking nuts as we are. I don't think so.
Sure,
Well,
values are different. Well, I
Well,
mean,
my mom, maybe she was on the podcast.
Yeah, but yeah, she did say she would go out once in a while, get crazy, turn.
well, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, you have to keep in mind that we come from immigrant parents,
Mm.
so the values are just slightly different. If there was anything, it was more alcoholism than anything.
Here's the thing: I was looking up.
Like, my dad drank a shitload,
Yeah, he did.
a lot.
My dad did too.
My parents just smoked weed and grew weed
Oh, nice.
Really?
at the
But
campus, at the college campus. They
It's
grew.
funny because I look at like where my dad was at my age and 36. At 36, he was running that fucking multi-million-dollar real
Yeah,
estate.
yeah.
He was a vice president of
Yeah.
or president. Some
No
bullshit. I
shit.
don't know what it was.
And
yeah.
like father, like son. Here you are, CEO of
No,
Accuracy
but I'm not,
Station.
no. But my dad was fucking balling. So I can't imagine him like being like wild and shit. He was the guy that always dressed up in a suit.
What
Yeah,
happened to all
that was pretty straight
the
and
money?
narrow.
Did he?
His
lose-
partners-
Some
Some
shit
shit.
went down.
Really?
Yeah. There was like a whole embezzlement thing, and he got caught up in
Shit.
it. Yeah.
And ever since then,
That
yeah,
sucks.
never bounced
It
back.
really hit his mental.
well, it's
Yeah.
hard. I mean, he was up there, dude.
Yeah.
Really? Like,
International business, the whole shebang.
was he making like millions?
He fucking introduced web TV to the States, dude. And web TV was like
Oh, okay.
what all these little Rokus and Apple TVs were. We've been using that shit
Oh,
since
yeah.
we were
Since the beginning.
kids, dude.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, the shit
Mm.
went down. But I mean, I like compare like what I do and like how much fun I have and all that shit as opposed to like what my dad did. But I think they're like different level. I guess I don't know. They're two very
The
different.
times
lives.
have changed, and then again, the values are different because of where they were, the way they were raised, and the
Yeah,
decisions
because
they made
my
versus,
parents
versus
are
us.
very different. My dad not broke in. He snuck in to an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert in Berkeley
Oh,
and smoked a shit ton of weed.
wonderful.
Nice.
So you're right. It is definitely
It's
probably
generational,
Yeah.
also. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah.
But yeah, this Anna Gucci show, like, so I've known about it for quite some time.
For the listeners, Anna Mana Gucci,
Anna Mana Gucci. In case any of you
Japanese
want-
man.
No, they're not. They're from New York. It's 4 white dudes.
Yeah.
I
They're dope.
see.
They're dope as
They're
fuck.
good.
4 white dudes, and basically they're like a retro chiptune 8-bit band.
Mhm.
So,
So
like
what-
Super Mario music.
So what that what that means
Street
is like,
Fighter music.
they use emulators with the
Synthesizers
Nintendo
and
Super
shit, yeah.
Nintendo sounds. So all the sounds that you used to hear when you would play your Nintendo, Super Nintendo, they use those sounds, but they're like a legit rock band.
Yeah,
Like,
so they convert it to the licks and the chords
Sure.
on their guitar. So when you play a guitar chord, it sounds like an 8-bit guitar chord.
it's like
out
Scott
there.
Pilgrim and shit.
yeah,
They made
exactly.
them- yeah,
they did the soundtrack to that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
so yeah, they've been around for years. I started following them in 2010, and I've never stopped loving them. Like
And
they're
in no way is that
No,
depressing.
really,
And
like-
he introduced me to
yeah,
them.
they're a
5
really
years
good
ago?
band. If you ever get a chance to listen to their stuff,
It's poppy, energetic. It's
yeah,
hyper.
it's really good. Melodic,
Mhm.
like their themes are great. They get people to remix their shit all the time, which is awesome.
It's not boring at all,
No, but
except for that one singer.
oh Jesus, but yeah. So we went out to this show. It was fucking great. Like I knew about, like I said, I've known about this show since like November when they first announced it. But like, you know, I'm a fan, and I know Keenan is a fan because he came in and watched it with me like 4 years ago.
Mhm.
But you know, no one else really is into it like that. You know, because I did ask a couple of people, and everybody was like, no.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah, but it's cool. But what I do
Keenan
regret,
really thought it was a special day between
No,
you two.
I just meant like his boy said yes, like that.
oh, of course, but
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna say
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
even like.
And then
Sure.
you know I just never go out, so I mean it was a
Well,
long
you missed
shot.
a dope show.
I'm
dope
sure.
show.
It was a
really
great
good
show.
But since when have you
Um,
known Philip to go out?
Yeah. you
Well,
know.
weren't you out at some place recently? Somewhere in a-
camping,
in a-
yeah.
In a park playing music with some freestyling.
Was
that
it
you
camping?
posted?
Camping? Did you stay there the night?
Hell no. As soon
Then
as
there
we heard
wasn't camping,
coyotes and all that
Blair.
shit. Yeah.
Y'all had like a midnight picnic. That's what the fuck you had. It's
So
like
it's so
we were
funny.
camping. No, motherfucker.
Let
You
me
were
see
at
that sleeping bag.
you were at
bitch.
Griffith Park, and then you fucking grabbed your shit at
And
1 in the
technically,
morning.
you can't camp at Griffin Park, can you?
No,
Isn't
but
that illegal?
it was remote enough out there that like it was kind of weird. A lot of weirdos. I don't want to get into it. Finish your story though.
Oh yeah, so what the thing about this show is that they did something really dope for the fans. They had an expo before the actual show, so you couldn't, if you bought an expo ticket, which was like $80. If you bought an expo ticket, you could go like around noon, and you could hang out with the band, play video
Did
games,
you do that?
have a pizza party. No,
He wanted to.
Here's the thing: I wanted to, but I didn't
See,
want to do it
what
by
had
myself.
happened was
I didn't want to do it
I
by
got a
myself.
banking and a savings.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it by myself, and then
I would
you
have
know,
totally done that.
I know.
it's about the experience with the homies.
Yeah.
But
right?
it does. That's kind of. I mean, not hefty, but
$80
$8.
yeah, but
Better
you
give
could-
me some sucky with that
they
$5.
had like they were gonna have like a pizza party.
Oh,
they
shit.
had video games.
Did it include
they had
the tickets to the show too?
yeah, as part of
a good
part
price.
of it. Yeah,
Actually,
it's
that's a good price.
because the tickets
This
were
was
like $30.
$30, yeah.
So you were only paying $50 additional dollars.
For what? Some pizza and a behind the
And
scenes.
to meet the
But
band
you're
members.
kicking it with the band. Like
Ah.
they had a lounge where you could kick it with the band, play video
That's cool.
games, eat pizza. Like there was a bunch of activities that you could do in that, and it lasted all the way to like an hour
the show?
before the
Nice.
the show
So it
started.
was a whole experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I
Now
mean-
you had a chance to actually meet.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Okay.
see,
So
let me ask Philly this
Yeah, go ahead.
question: if you saw somebody like whoever your favorite musician or artist or even actor, 10 feet away from you, just chilling,
Happens to me all the time. Go on.
okay, would you approach and go, "Hey, I love your work. You know, it's cool, bop, 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 and boom," and then bounce? Would you approach within his inner 5 feet
Or her.
or her, his or her? I was getting to it. Fucking. Anyway, answer my question.
Yeah, I usually do, but I never come at it from like the work. I'm always just like, hey, it's good to see you. And then I just walk off.
So you at least approach them. See, that's the question. I was
okay.
dicking on Joe, not dicking on. Sorry, I was
Wow.
I was giving Joe a lot of shit that night because I wanted him to talk to him.
So
well, Joe's had a lot of bad experiences
So
with
one of the
famous people too.
guitarists,
though.
Really?
yeah. But one of the guitarists,
I know
Ari,
that.
he passed right in front of us.
Yeah, he did like twice.
Yeah, like legit passed right in front of us, and I was like, "Oh, that's Ari." And Keenan didn't
I was
realize
like-
what the fuck I was talking about. He's like, "Oh, who's that?" And I'm like, "That's fucking the lead guitarist for the fucking band we're here to see, Keenan."
You idiot.
And but see, the thing with me is that I didn't want to be the dude be like, "Oh, you're Ari," shake his hand.
You
because
never want to be sucking
because
somebody's
we're at a
dick like
show.
that. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
at a show, and imagine if I would have done that and everybody would have seen me. They would have
Yeah,
all
blown
flocked
up his
to him,
spot,
you know?
yeah.
That's why you go through the back door. I don't know
Yeah.
why he went through the front.
Because he kind of wanted to be like around the
'Cause he
see
was-
the vibe.
He
you know?
was chilling in the audience back where we were, which is
Yeah.
probably now the best place to sit. But at least I
told
think
you.
like for Philly, you could at least go, hey, like as a what do you call it? Not professional, as
But
a
I have been there before, like where I ran into Joe Jackson and then we started talking and then somebody saw us and all of a sudden 80 people came up, or the same thing
Yeah.
happened with Jack Black. I was talking to Jack Black and then all of a sudden everybody saw and I was like, and I don't want to be that fucking because it falls on you. All of a sudden they have that bad experience with you. They're
so
like, "Oh,
were you
fuck."
like loud enough that people heard?
No, but just enough, just the fact that I stopped them to talk to them.
Huh?
People look over and well, I mean, Jack Black is obviously fucking.
Well,
he's
he
a
kind
character.
of yeah.
So.
And then when I ran into Wanda Sykes at the
Oh, yeah,
theater,
yeah, remember that?
I just said, "Hey, I love your work," and I didn't even really walk up to him. So I think things like that. That's the only thing I was trying to get Joe to do was to just go past and be like, "Hey, can't we, good luck," or something, so that you have.
But
that
why didn't you
acknowledgement.
just go do it?
I didn't. Okay, so Joe didn't want me to do it, and I wanted to be respectful of Joe and not be that guy.
Gotcha.
Because there's a lot of guys and girls who would do that. It was like, just go talk to them. I'll do it for you, and then they go,
Yeah.
and then just like it.
Yeah,
like,
I
fucks up the
definitely
whole
would have
thing.
done that.
Yeah,
And then Joe would have been like, motherfucker.
exactly. And I was high.
I'm not
So-
that dude. I'm just not that
You're gonna
dude.
blow
Yeah.
somebody's
You know,
spot
like-
up and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, even and I don't do it because of fucking Bruce Willis. Fuck Bruce Willis.
So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. If you had an experience before and I knew about it, I probably wouldn't have brought it out. Is this? No, this is something you both know.
This is Bruce Willis was a
Yeah.
dick. Yeah.
So
Really?
maybe like 10, maybe more than that.
Okay.
Some at least 10 years ago. I was in Century City for something. I can't remember what it was. I might have been there for work. I don't remember.
Okay.
But anyway, I was in Century City at the mall. And they I think within the last 10 years, they remodeled it so that they have like that food court upstairs, like super decked out.
Right. Okay.
So I was over there doing some shit, and then I went to, I think it might have been maybe they have a Panda Express. I don't know, or it was like some Chinese food.
Yeah,
it was some Chinese food. So I went in line, and nobody was there. This is like noon or 11 a.m. So there's no one there at all. So I got in line to go get Chinese, and I'm waiting in line. There's probably like one or two people in front of me, and then Bruce Willis just like walks up and stands next in line. And I'm just like, I'm not even thinking about it.
Right.
I'm just waiting for my turn. I look over and I'm like, oh shit, that's Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh shit. And literally all I did was like, Bruce Willis, man, I love your work, man. Really love it. And he just looked over at me. He's like, huh, all right.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, cool. And
it was just a straight dick.
I was like, man, I really do love your work.
That's
fucking asshole.
Can I be the name of the episode? Fuck Bruce Willis.
Whoa,
You're a dick.
Whoa.
I love your work.
That should be the name.
I love your work.
I love your work.
Because you ran into Van Damme and he was super awesome, right?
Man, Van Damme.
I'm back.
So it kind of
the muscles of Brussels. What's up?
So it's kind of a 50-50, right? Whoever you meet.
I mean, I've met a bunch of celebrities.
Yeah. I mean, it was just one bad experience, but it's because of that. I mean, I've had bad experiences.
I don't do it anymore. Like I'm not. I don't do that anymore.
Oh, well, I just thought for me, if I saw somebody who I admire, I would at least, have a brief interaction.
I think it's just the action guy thing, though, because I met Jason Statham and the same thing happened.
He was a dick?
Yeah, I was in the elevator. I used to work as a security guard for the Soho House on Sunset. And, he came in and it was my job to take up. And, I was like, hey, Mr. Statham, love your work, man. He was like, yeah. And that was it. Like, that was it. It was just an awkward ride to the penthouse from there.
Shit. Well, one time I went to Eddie Murphy's birthday party.
What?
This was maybe 10 years ago. So I was at Eddie Murphy's birthday party at I forget the name of the club. It's probably closed by now.
Yeah.
But we were chilling there, and we're in one of the booths, hanging out, having fun, and everything.
And you had a booth.
Pussycat dolls pull up.
Okay.
You had me at the word pussy.
Pussycat dolls pull up. We're chilling. Everybody's having fun. And then I forget what song comes on. I'm like in the vibe. I start singing and everything. And Melody Thornton looks over at me. And she's like,
who's that?
Okay.
One of the Pussycat dolls?
Yeah, she's one of the Pussycat dolls.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, man, stop. I was like, I'm just regular. I'm just here. She's like, nah, I'm listening to you. And the whole night she was just flirting with me. And I was like, damn, that's Melody Thornton.
And then all your hopes got up.
But I'm broke as shit. So she probably wouldn't fuck with me. But yeah, she was vibing with me for real.
Wow.
You with your own limitations, bro. What about that time you gave away my hat to Jamie Foxx, motherfucker?
Oh, you did?
We traded hats.
That.
Like you met him, traded
hand. Wasn't even your hat to trade, player. Joe came back. Like, yo, I hope you understand, bro.
It was a moment, bro. It was a moment.
Wow.
It was like it had to happen. Filthy.
A bromance.
A bromance.
Yeah. So I still have that.
Yeah, you better still have that fucking hat.
It was one of those.
I spent like $80 on that hat, bro.
Beret.
Wait, so you have Jamie Foxx's hat?
Yeah.
Why don't you give that to Philly?
Nah, that hat is way more valuable than my hat. I'm just being a bitch.
Oh, okay.
It was sorry, Filthy.
No, you're good. I get it.
Would you have done the same thing if
For
you're
me?
in the same position? If Jamie Foxx asked you, hey,
yeah, but I never would have even told Joe because he probably wouldn't remember. Actually, no, Joe's pretty like, hey, you stop mine. Because Joe will buy a box of cereal and then like not touch it for 8 months, and then you you eat it gradually, and then eventually in the 8th month, hey, I think I'm gonna have some cereal now, and you have to sit there and go, oh fuck, I hope he doesn't have the expectation. Yeah, and I don't know how, but Joe's timing is always exactly that. I think it's time that I go get the thing that I didn't even want until just right now.
Oh God,
I would do that with pork rinds too. Remember, I would always.
Joe left an apartment. And he bought those pork rinds when he moved into the apartment.
Were they like moldy or some shit?
It's preservatives and shit. Yeah.
Wait, they last? Like Twinkies?
Pork rinds last.
All that shit you're buying in the liquor store, that's been there for a while.
Wait. What's that supposed to mean?
Not you.
No,
he's not
okay.
saying
The proverbial you.
Okay.
He's saying
Racist.
all the shit you buy at a liquor store is going to be there for a while.
Racist. What
That's
the
right.
fuck?
Well, no, we used to live right down the street from a liquor store, so it was super convenient for us to just go out. Buy
Okay.
the shit,
See
come back.
black people go in. Is that it, Philly?
God damn it, Keenan.
That's right. I'm throwing shade back. It's fuck you, Keenan, this day. So
when did I say fuck you, Keenan Day?
Well, what's the
Fuck
name? What's the
you.
name?
All right, ladies. Let's get
Jesus
this podcast on the
Christ.
road.
It was called
You fucking asshole.
I thought I wrote it down.
So Anna Monoguchi was fun.
Anna Monoguchi
and
was dope. They
name
did-
dropping these celebrities.
They
is a
did some
thing.
dope shit. Yeah. They did a lot of great songs. They have a new album called USA Expo USA.
And they played the whole album.
They played the whole album. They played like an hour and a half set.
Yes.
Which is fucking crazy because usually you'll go see a
30 minutes.
No, they'll do about an hour.
Yeah.
Like all the main acts will do about an hour
Did
set.
Wolf Mother do an hour? I thought they
did about an hour.
They did?
Yeah, they did about an
Fucking
hour.
bastards.
Yeah, but Anna Monoguchi came out and did a fucking
Full thing?
hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and it was dope. They did that whole new album, and then they did some of the classics, and they did like 8 of them, and I was like, "Fuck, this is great." I just love them. I think they're a great band. You guys should check them out. Just give it a shot. Listen to it for its music. For the quality of its music, it's really good. Recommended tracks are My Skateboard Will Go On, which is one of their first tracks ever. Airbrush. I can't say it's one of their first tracks ever, but it's one of the first ones that I remember. But
Endless Fantasy.
Endless Fantasy is a great song. Aurora is a super dope song. Their whole Endless Fantasy album was great. It had Prom Night. It had a bunch of shit. So that whole Endless Fantasy album was super dope. But yeah.
So like if people have seen the Scott Pilgrim movie and they love the Michael Cera shit, and then they can
A
just
video game
imagine,
too.
yeah. There's a video game Scott Pilgrim. If you're into any of that, then this is a jam for you. If you're not, you can open your mind. If you're hot, you can open your wait. Where am I going with this? Hey.
All right.
What can I say?
Don't say anything. I want to hear.
Keeping it classy.
I want to hear about your little camp trip.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought you
yeah.
said you didn't want to talk about it.
No, I was just saying I didn't want to interrupt the story. You guys
Oh,
had.
I thought something bad happened.
No, it's pretty basic. Yeah, some friends. This one.
You say some bitches.
No. This one artist, Sabrina Chaco. She wanted to like get her friends together. She'd kind of been like a little down and out about like just everybody goes through ups and downs, right?
Yeah, of course.
She's like, what'll cheer me up? Getting together with some musician friends. And so it just so happened that I was in this thread of like a shitload of people. Actually, from what I gather, she does back vocals for Zendaya and things like that.
Okay. Cool.
So she's going to be releasing an album shit, and so she was like, I'll get my friends together. It was like in some like way remote part of Griffith Park. In fact, I drove too far at one point. I drove out to the zoo up that way. It was on the other side of the zoo, and so when I finally found my spot, we started setting up. Luckily, I had like lights and shit because it was kind of dark there. Coyotes, weirdos kept driving by, parking, walking up to us. Who were just looking for the Hollywood sign? No, you weren't. You just wanted to join the party, But we just jammed. It was acoustic and shit, It's just like a regular ass kumbaya night. But as soon as it started getting really dark, kind of weird, I was like, all right, well, night's over for me.
I'm gonna head out.
But I feel bad because the homie Jason, who was on the last week's episode, he also had an event.
He did.
And some people who did show up there left early so they can go make his show.
Damn it. I was trying to get the signs built before his show was on, but I have to wait for the next one.
Yeah. But I hope he had a great time at his show. I definitely didn't want to miss it on purpose. I just, I can only do so many things in one day, man.
Yeah, I've actually gotten some feedback about that episode. Like, people felt like it was an episode dedicated to him. Like, but I don't think they understand
it wasn't like this, and it wasn't like the way we started off. Wasn't. That's for sure.
I felt, I don't know.
It definitely was more like an interview episode than it was what we usually do.
Introspective.
I guess so, because
right?
I mean, if you
I'm not saying that they said it was a bad thing. That they really enjoyed it.
It just wasn't what we usually do.
Yeah, it's not what I think they liked the fact that it was different from what we usually do.
We gave him a moment to really talk about his life and experiences
because he had a lot to say.
Yeah,
also.
So I got a lot of good feedback. That's what I got a lot of good.
We were on the ATF after the FAQ episode.
Yeah, that's what huge shout out to Jay Swish and Ray. Over at After
he
the
said,
Fact.
Who?
You're an asshole.
Fuck you and fuck Ray.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
hey,
They love each other. But yeah, they just released their episode earlier this week. Yesterday or the day before yesterday.
I started
Friday,
listening to it already. Halfway in.
But yeah, we did an episode. They came over to my place. We posted up in the balcony, hung out, had some drinks, talked about a lot of bullshit. So huge shout out to the After the Fact LA episode or podcast for having us on. That was a great that was fun. It was a lot of fun. I said a lot of shit that
2 and some half hours edited down to an hour and a half.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow, he's got patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Philly, I guess Philly could vouch for that because I doubt you'd have the patience to do it our show.
No way. Well, I mean, it all depends. You know, if I was prepared for it, I would, but I would do it in a way where I'm paying attention to the time on the recorder and taking notes down, so I don't have to listen back and then edit later.
Yeah, it was
tip.
I think it was my first time actually meeting
Jay Swish.
No,
you've met him before when they came up here when they were recording.
Oh, that's right. But it was very brief, and I was like all in my zone anyway. But yeah, he's a cool guy.
You probably passed him in the street in your neighborhood.
Probably.
Just
he
some
lives in my
random black
neighborhood.
guy.
Yeah, he lives in my neighborhood. I probably saw him and I walked across the street because I felt uncomfortable. I don't know. But he's a super cool guy. I think they have a great dynamic. And I
it's definitely a show that if you guys are into, you should check out.
Yeah, sure. They're I don't think they want to be considered a sports space, but maybe they do sports space podcasts, especially LA sports. Which is kind of I fuck with that because obviously
they're a variety show.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely one of the varieties that they talk on is sports.
But yeah, that shit was fun.
So yeah, that was fun. I mean, it's definitely there's definitely a difference in being a host of a podcast and then being a guest on a podcast.
Yeah,
there's especially if you have your own podcast, it's hard to switch the role and be the guest and like not be the one driving the questions and shit.
Yeah,
Joe took it over. Yeah,
it wasn't just me. You were part of that conversation.
No, I had nothing to do with it. It was all you, Joe.
I kind of felt bad after. I was like, damn, we kind of really took that shit over.
It actually
edit out a lot.
It takes a certain degree of like getting used to being the person that is being interviewed. Like now we know how our guests feel, except we have the confidence to just run a show. So that's kind of what happened. But I did my best to like, you asked me the questions.
Yeah, I think
because he was trying to make it an interview base, right?
Yeah,
and we're not an interview based.
Well, that's because we're not an interview based podcast. Like we're an open conversation podcast, and I forgot that. You know, I'm not used to being a guest. I'm used to just like having conversations. Like we don't really have a guest format, like or interview based format. You know, so it was a little tougher.
But then, like directly after that, we had one of those exact episodes with Jason Valencia.
Isn't that crazy?
Pretty much,
we kind of just gave him the floor. Like,
I mean, I was like, okay, this is ironic.
Well, he did have a lot to say. Where we were trying to be polite and not interject and talk over him and stuff like that, which led to just a longer extended.
I think I kind of fed it a lot too. Like I fed him a lot, like to continue.
Oh, you're saying that the entire episode is your responsibility and he had nothing to contribute to the episode?
No.
Sounds like it.
I was like,
hey, that's the way you operate, Joe. I respect you.
Fuck you guys.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. But yeah, that was
so
fun.
it's been a
while since we had something on your roof.
I know.
It's a nice spot.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it was comfortable. It felt like the old days.
So kind of awkward transition there.
I don't know.
I'm just thanking Joe for his hospitality of letting me use his home, the balcony.
It was cool.
Right? It just seems like there's an angle behind what you're saying, Keenan.
There is nothing behind. Stop reading into me, Philly.
You want to use my balcony?
No.
So why?
Actually, I was supposed to sleep at his house on the balcony. There was a moment where there was like Keenan could potentially stay here on the balcony.
Well, Joe's always gonna have a home for you, bro.
Oh,
Everybody has a home for.
That's right.
is it your penis?
No, no.
Oh,
What?
No, with me, everybody has a home if they absolutely need it. You know,
It's like Olive Garden. When you hear your family.
when you hear family,
You know what I
forget
mean?
about it. I'm
Forget about
walking
it.
here.
Damn. I remember once Joe and I were at Olive Garden, and I told one of the waitresses that she reminded me of the girl from Full House. None of the pretty ones either. It's
Shit.
the
Kimmy.
Kimmy, the annoying one or whatever.
This was in Westwood, right?
Yeah, way back. And Joe was
Oh,
like,
that-
Phil.
what if it was?
Like, what are you doing?
Joe
Why would you
like
do
he
that?
was like, what the fuck, man?
This was a long time. This is when they still had the what's that
Westwood
thing?
Village, man. So okay,
Westwood
listeners.
Village.
When was the last time you went to Westwood Village and played in the arcade?
If you listen and you're in
It
Los
doesn't even
Angeles,
exist.
if you listen and you're in
Yeah.
another city, we're talking about a particular city in Los Angeles.
a particular
Yeah.
section, yeah.
Section.
So the Westwood Village is the little town area that's
Just south of UCLA.
it's just south of UCLA, directly connected to UCLA, and this is where kind of like all the students hang out. You know, some of them have jobs there. You know,
Did you ever
they
eat at Diddy
there.
Reese?
I ate everywhere there, dude. It was my home.
Yeah.
Westwood Village was like my spot. I would go
You
there.
called
for
that the spot,
everything.
didn't you? Back in
There was
Unit,
a
you said
little
let's go to the
hut.
spot.
There was a
Oh,
little,
yeah, yeah.
there was
There
a little
still
hut
is.
called the spot. It's
Yeah.
still there.
The burritos.
Actually, the same dude still working there.
Yeah.
They've been working there for 20 years.
And
Talk
they
about
s-
no way that depressing.
And you know what's funny is they still don't know who you are.
Yeah, they still don't. You're like, bruh, I've been coming here since I was a fucking kid. He's like, oh, you're not saying, you're not saying, you're not saying. Like, what? Fuck you.
That's crazy.
Give me a
dude.
burrito.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy because they're still there. That's what's amazing. Like,
It's definitely a staple of Los Angeles culture to go there. It's like the equivalent of like the village area when you go to Columbia University in New York.
yeah, dude. With us, we used to get off school, high school. You know, some of us would just get off school, head over to Westwood Village, you know, have a burrito or a burger or whatever, you know, was at the spot. And, you know, then we hit the arcade, chill at the arcade for an hour or two and then go home.
That was before social media ever took place.
It was.
Yeah,
I
That
didn't-
was the social media.
that really was.
What
And
did
this
we
was
have?
what's
Was it
crazy is that
beepers?
this was like 20 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
legit. This was like 2001. Yeah, 2001.
For all you folks old
2002.
enough to remember, now it's time to hit into nostalgia.
It wasn't beeper, it was pagers, right? We had pagers.
We had pagers. I had a two-way.
Oh,
you did?
That was back then when
I
you
had a
had
cell
to
phone
when you
too.
actually had to step up to somebody and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Right? Like when you had to
Yeah.
actually talk to somebody. Like, "Oh, that's
Oh.
good."
Great question, or not question, statement. Because that something just happened to me recently, where I was told to approach this woman while she was at work and like flirt with her,
You were
ask her
told
out.
to do this, huh?
Well, I had a conversation where it was like, I was looking at someone and she was pretty cute, older lady, and at this farmer's market, and the person I was there with, hanging out, was telling me like, "Hey, you should go."
Was this a
talk to her.
woman or a man?
It was a man.
Okay.
And I was like, well, she's at work, she's working. And, you know, I did think she was cute, but it's like, it wasn't like I have to go talk to her kind of thing.
Sure.
And he was like, well, if you're kind of on here, you know, complain about how single you are and want to get laid, then you have to go shoot your shot.
Right.
And that was my question. That was going to be my leading question to you both about, is it a good opportunity? And I definitely should ask women this, and I've had in the past, but I'll tell you the answer later. Should you go and ask them or talk to them while they're at work?
Joe, you want to handle this first?
I'm not that kind of dude, especially if it's an establishment that I go to. Because I have to go back there. And if I get shot down, I'm like, now I got to come back here and always like fucking deal with you after you shot me down. So me personally, I wouldn't if it's a place that I go to.
Right.
If it isn't a place that I go to, if I fucking happen to, you know,
Come
go
across.
to a place that I don't go to often, or if I hop into like a food spot that I'm just going to because it's in passing, then and I were to see a female that, you know, I took an interest in, I'd probably holler at her.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. But if it's an
Like you would
establishment that I
have.
go
Right,
to,
right.
Right.
But if it's an establishment that I go to, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Yeah. I personally think the first thing to do is you got to read the room, right? Like, is there any inkling of interest at all? You know, like it's not like, obviously you never know until you know, and it's hard. It's easy to misread signals. But also sometimes I feel like, you know, there's a look in the eye when someone's clearly talking to you. Now they could just be nice, obviously, when you get into a conversation. So you don't want to assume too much.
Right.
But if there's a nice conversation, there really is no harm in going, hey, it's a pretty great conversation. I'd like to continue it with you.
Okay.
There's really nothing wrong with that. And there's either a yes or a no,
Right. So I wound up doing it. I didn't do it when he was there. I played it in my head. I was like, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go do it. Even though it was after my friend left. But it kind of ended up like that, where I tried to start a conversation and then she shoved me off to her co-worker while she handled more customers.
Right.
And I was like, I wound up talking to her coworker and then getting a business card, but that was about it. But I have asked people out, as you both know, the lady that I get my material from works there and honestly runs it. So I have no problem doing it. The conflict in my head was like, I thought I was reading the room, but to my friend, it doesn't matter if you're reading the room or not. You got to always shoot your shot.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
that's their philosophy.
Okay.
That's their philosophy. It doesn't mean it has to be yours.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's coming from because I constantly tell everybody, oh, I'm single. I want to get laid. Oh, I want to do this. I want to meet all these girls and stuff. But I never tell them. I say it all the time, but then it's kind of going back to what I said before about I don't do what I say and I don't say what I do. I may boast about my singleness. I'm also very conservative.
Boast?
But did I say boost? Boast.
Yeah.
You said boast.
Okay.
Yeah.
My only final notes on that are like, I try to be this way, and I don't know what it'll do for you, but maybe offer some perspective on like one person's way of living, and mine isn't the fucking true way or anything. But I always try to look at myself and say, the type of person that I want, right, that I want to date or that I'm attracted to or what have you, would who I am right now be something that they would be attracted to per se? And if they aren't, then I work on myself, in whatever respects those are, like just personally me, you know what I mean? And that's really all I need to keep in mind, because then as long as I'm busy working on myself, I this is just me again. Mm-hmm. I have absolute faith that I'm going to be running into the person that I think will be able to appreciate that, and because there's this big, and this is just my last 2 cents, all right? There's this big movement where like these guys are taking courses and learning techniques, and they're like chasing this idea of sex and like, oh, I gotta have
pickup line stuff.
And it's that very energy that's your fucking problem, because you come across needy. You can't. It's like in acting class when they teach you, if you go into an audition and you go there and it's called indication, and you want to act like you're the person that you're supposed to be, right? Your thinking style is what has to change. Not what you're trying to show, but your thinking style. That part of what makes good actors so fascinating to watch is that their thoughts, whatever they are in line with what that character is supposed to be doing. That's why they look so fucking fascinating. What happens is a bad actor, while you're able to see it, is you're like, there's something going on inside there that isn't selling me. And that's what most dudes who are like out there getting these techniques, and they're focusing on the wrong fucking problem. Yeah, maybe they'll help you a little success, right? For any women who allow themselves to fall to that. But for the most part, women are smart as fuck, and they can see a man's character like 20 miles away, man. So just it's your thinking, and so that's why I constantly work on my own thinking, and just because I'll admit I used to be a dude who was really worried about whether or not like I was going to be someone who would be able to attract a girl, because being handsome is like nothing. That's like one part of it. It makes it easier to get to the door.
Or tall.
Yeah, and I'm not tall either, right?
Tall ain't shit.
So I looked into it, but as I started looking into all that shit, I started realizing how desperate a lot of these people were, and I was like, I get it. It's like Charles Bukowski says, sex is a lot like money. When you don't have it, it seems more important. But the truth is, if you shift your focus to where it counts really and working on yourself, trust me, the person who can appreciate you will notice you. And they may not make all the moves, but they'll give you enough of an indication that it's undeniable. Listen, when you're a beautiful creature that is constantly being pursued, the best strategy one could have is to make it clear to the person they are interested in that they're interested in them. And women are smart enough to know that if they want somebody to know that they're into them, they'll make it clear. They don't need techniques from us to create attraction. All you have to do is be an attractive person. And that doesn't mean to be around people like that. You know what I mean? Not the other where it's like you're seeking things from them. That's the philosophy that I told myself. And it seemed to have done something for me. I'm not saying it's the answer for everyone, but I openly admit I've had doubts. This is the process that I took to make myself a better person. And to some degree, it helped me find people that I have had amazing memories with.
All right. Well, that was a great
Joe, are you going to take us home with your soapbox?
Sorry, I get carried away sometimes.
That became very intense. It's just like, all right, Philly's dropping some knowledge again.
But I'm glad I'm able to bring up the question to bring Philly engaged.
Yeah. It's rare that I go on a tangent, but I'm actually
Ladies and gentlemen,
a lot of that is actually coming from a book I wrote a long time ago called Sugar Salt that I never released.
Wait, did you?
Because I had another book called Sugar Salt that I had written.
Pause. I thought I had all of Philly's written words.
Oh, yeah. Keenan has some of my old shit. No, yeah, you do have a copy.
I have to check my email because that's going to be worth money.
Keenan has been reading my book since the dawn of time.
Pretty much.
But so I released the Pushing Past the Norm one, but that stuff, that same philosophy comes from my Sugar Salt book that I never released, which I should probably work on actually.
You should.
Given the response where you guys were listening, it sounds like I might have something to say.
So, Sugar Salt and then Nomics.
Nomics is not ready. That's
I like the title.
I'm trying to explain the fucking universe of like law of production and the law of consumption. That's like a whole other. That's a big can of worms. That's a big can of worms. So that one, this is going to be on the pod, man. I don't want to put myself.
That's what you're looking at me for.
No, yeah, we shouldn't be talking about unreleased material.
Well, anyways,
he's name dropping.
If it gets released, it could still be. It could be a pushing point for Philly to actually.
It's like George R.R. Martin. He's been working on the final book of this song of Ice and Fire.
So Sugar Salts. Okay, so it sounds like you guys might be interested in it. Well, listeners, let me know and I'll release it.
It's like all those other things we tell you about, but it's like, once you have it, just do it. Don't let your own inner thoughts stop you from getting stuff done
while the iron's hot.
Yeah, whatever you did to make the
getting while the getting is good. You know what I'm saying?
Get it while the getting is good.
Going. Yeah. You're doing the whole thing with music and stuff, and so I can't wait for that album to drop.
As my friends, be honest with me. Am I doing too many things?
Yes,
absolutely.
That was the easiest question you could ever give us.
I was kind of hoping for more of a thought before you said something.
Nope, that's it.
You guys like unanimously, unequivocally answered yes, like right away.
Yeah, we don't need to get into specifics here, but
if you want to, we can. I use it for my soapbox.
Okay, well, never mind. I'm just gonna turn it over to you guys now.
Take it away.
All right, take it away, boys.
But it's still kind of good to have stuff on the table, even though it's a lie. It's good to have it there because it's say, for instance, you didn't have any of that stuff. Then who would you be and what would you be doing?
Right. I mean, I try not to define myself by the things that I do.
But you're supposed to be a creative, not content. Cause I don't want to use that term. You're basically you're a creationist. You create things.
I mean, how do you guys feel about?
Is that what a creationist means?
I'm using it for that. I'm taking away from the Bible and I'm
appropriation.
Using my own definition. We're gonna take it back, Joe.
I mean, you theists. If you guys want to jump in on the topic of this, it gets pretty deep. But I just don't know. I just don't know a better way to spend my time than to maximize all the things that I'm capable of doing.
I think it's good because if I had very little things to do, I'd be playing video games and watching Netflix and doing all this other stuff.
Joe's like, hey.
As a point to Joe, I'm a point to Joe. But I think it's good keeping yourself busy.
There was a time when Joe was going on tour to Romania and Europe and all that shit.
You were doing a lot.
Joe would sit there and make beats for days and hours, and obviously values change, goals change, but Joe and I would go on fucking jogs around a school fucking track that was near us at Roosevelt High. I mean, Joe was making moves, man. And not that he's not anymore. He's obviously focusing on his career more than anything. I mean, Joe's capable of it too. It's not like he's not.
But see,
he has kids.
I call bullshit. No, but I call bullshit on you guys because I fucking stay busy as hell. But I still fucking play video games and I still watch Netflix and I still watch Hulu and I still engage in activities outside of like my job. Like I do a lot of other shit.
Yeah.
and that I still find myself entertaining myself.
Are they
You've got
different?
some interesting work-life balance. Yeah.
Are they different from other? Because I mean, I think all the work you do is associated in one category. You're not directing something while writing something while producing something else while building something with your hands while learning another language while doing something. It's all.
He's basically trying to say you ain't doing shit.
I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of work in one field where Philly is.
Yeah,
doing
but it's a lot of work in one field where you project manage, where you do logistics, where you do you go,
deep
where
learning.
you travel to build, where you do I do a lot. I have I'm in one career, but I do a lot of things within that
one.
And I'm
career.
saying, but imagine a lot of things in multiple careers. Now you have multiples of multiples.
But it's the same thing. Yeah, what I'm saying is it doesn't matter.
It's either horizontal or vertical.
I have one career, but I also stay busy in
things that aren't related to it. Right.
I also stay busy in playing video games. I also stay busy in watching TV. I stay busy in listening to music.
And he raises a family.
Yes, nothing.
Well, I already added that. That was in there. But
exactly. But it's
so. What would you be doing if you weren't playing video games and watching Netflix?
Why would I want to do anything else?
Hypothetical. What if you weren't doing?
Voiceovers, obviously.
I would love to get into voiceovers.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just gonna hold him accountable to that because he mentioned it a while back, and
that's right, you did do that.
I mean, if it takes me sending him some fucking courses, I will. But
I'd love to do that.
How serious are we talking?
But here's the crazy part.
Okay.
That if I started doing that, I would still find time to play video games.
I don't think you would.
Shit.
I don't think you would. If you filled, I'm just saying, if you filled all,
Joe would just make it so that he goes, "Oh, I want to be a voiceover in the next coming of this game." So you would just find a way to connect it.
I just think that you would, if you had very little time to play video games, you wouldn't do it.
I have very little time to play video games.
Like 30 minutes per week.
That's why you see him on his phone playing games while he's taking a shit because he's trying to get his hours in. Joe has a minimum number of hours he wants to dedicate to gaming, no matter what.
I thought you play more than that
on my phone.
Like hours. Maybe? Well, now we're getting into semantics about the gaming type thing. I was talking more like you're sitting down. Well, you are sitting down. On your
I haven't
phone.
played at all this week.
Okay.
I didn't play at all last week. I got Darksiders like 2 weeks ago.
And then you said you played it for like 5 hours straight.
I played it for 5 hours and I haven't played it since.
But I'm thinking, what if you didn't have those 5 hours? Would you still try and
I'd try to squeeze it in?
Yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely squeeze it in.
What Joe's trying to say is like gaming is definitely an important part of his life.
Yeah, but I'm not. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't fucking matter. You're gonna find time to do the shit that you
want to do.
Right.
I like to work. Right. Like, and not just in one thing. In fact, working in one thing is almost my nightmare for me.
But technically, playing video games is work for you. You kind of
not necessarily.
I enjoy it. You include it in your activity as a career of multiple things you do.
Yeah,
that's work.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're working.
No, it's not work. It's activities. It's keeping yourself busy.
It's how you use your meditation type of shit. Basically, that's what you were talking about.
But what I'm saying is like it doesn't matter. You could do a million things and still find time to do the shit that you want to do.
That's true. Well, I mean, that's definitely that's definitely what my girlfriend used to say. No,
you using the argument that because I have one career and work in one field doesn't matter because that one career, one field keeps me busy with doing a lot of shit. Like I'll be at home and a client will hit me up and say, "Hey, I need a quote right now. Can you send that to me?" And I'll do that.
So why isn't that considered your perspective of your work? Why can I say the same thing about Philly?
Yeah, but you're saying that I have one career and one track, and then the rest of it is fun. And you're saying because Philly does this and does this and he does this.
Hey, let's not make this about me, all right?
Well, you brought it up. You started. So.
I was just asking.
No, but that's what you're saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it can't be included. I'm not calling it fun. I'm calling it. You can't call it the same unless you're considering it the same work. You can't call it something totally separate.
It's okay. It's fine. We won't include the games.
Okay. What Cianan is saying, what Cianan wants to know is how much of the things you do outside of work do you also consider your life's work?
Just my work. My work is what I consider my work.
So but do you have a labor of love?
But it's a career. So it's not. I don't have a job. I have a career. I have a career that takes up a lot of my time. So Philly has a lot of different jobs, and he allots time for all these different jobs. Right? I have one job that takes up all of that time.
Right.
So it wouldn't matter if I had a bunch of different jobs if they all took up the same time as that one job.
Did I misunderstand what you were asking, Cam?
Well, no, we're on something different. What Joe and I are on is something different than what you were on. So to go with Joe, real quick.
Is this like devil's advocate or?
Kind of, because I'm using you as an example. I'm not using myself, but
why are you using me as an example?
Well, because I mean that's how this got into it, so I'm sticking with it. God damn it! Now I fucking lost me.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand.
Philly.
Wait, what?
You said you're trying to.
My question originally was like, I it's on the idea of productivity. Like, I don't know how else to spend my time because I try to play video games.
But I'm just challenging what Joe challenged to us. I'm trying to get this back and forth thing.
And what I'm telling you is because I have a career, I have a job that is a career.
Yeah, but
right?
but where you're coming from was a reaction to what we were saying, right? About playing video games is.
You said because I only have one career, I have time for this other stuff.
No.
What were you saying then?
I was saying that what you two do were very different, and that you can't use the hard work you do to sort of analyze the hard work that Philly does. When he was talking about he doesn't have the time to play video games, you're like, of course you can. I do it. I work, just as hard as you do. I make the time to play video games. Yeah. Why can't you make the time for the stuff that you need? And I'm saying that what you do, and now I'm trying to jump into that and saying that that's different.
Why is it different?
Well, right. Where he uses the time to play video games, I use it to like sing or fucking record instead. It's the same thing. It's like for me, that's like the thing that helps me relax. It just
I don't think that's
no?
what he's trying to say.
Am I misunderstanding?
No.
You're saying we can't compare each other because I have one job and Philly has a bunch of jobs.
I'm in the effort of the work that's being involved into your one job, I think is very different than having multiple avenues of jobs. Like the way you broke it up, like you break up a whole bunch of things that you do within that one job or your one career.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that
you guys know this is on the podcast.
Right? Yeah.
That's why.
Like you guys speak to the audience so they can follow too,
Okay. I
want to see what Keenan's trying to say here.
Joe's like, "What's up, bro? You coming at me?" That's what Joe's saying.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to relate. I'm trying to just speak to Joe only, but I mean, if I should speak to the audience as well.
There are times where instead of playing games, I'll watch like fucking an episode or two of Netflix.
Okay, well then let me try and rechange this up to something that may work. It may work.
Okay.
In the sense of playing video games is fun or it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where we will have to split our differences of opinion. Okay. I do think that playing video games is not as productive as when you're doing your career, your job. What the elements that you use to play the video game. You're not mobile, you're not active. And I'm not talking about the mobile video. I'm talking about sitting playing on a controller and a screen. You're not going anywhere, but you're sitting in a spot for hours or doing it multiple times a week or a day on a basis. Let's just say hours. 30 minutes I get. It's understandable. But let's say hours. If
it makes you happy, I guess it doesn't fucking matter,
That would be the end result.
Maybe the goal isn't to be productive. Maybe the goal is just to enjoy life, right?
But yeah, and the thing that I'm saying,
which I do very well.
Yes,
so that's right.
And so my opinion. So let me change it so it's not a fact. My opinion is that when you play video games for longer than an hour, that could be delegated to, for my example, making a sign. That's not good. It's not good. It's not. I wouldn't say healthy. But
basically, the way you're living your life is.
No, I'm not. See, this is where you're gonna get.
No. I'm being devil's advocate.
Okay.
I'm being devil's advocate.
But that's what I'm saying. So my opinion is that when you play video games for longer than an hour consecutively, and not using that allotted time to actually work on your career, your business, your job, your craft, anything like that, that is not good. I wouldn't say perfect or ideal or great or I mean, like I'm just saying. On average, it's not good.
So you feel you're wasting your time when you're playing video games?
Yes, that's why I haven't been playing. I haven't touched that PlayStation 4 in months. And I've been playing games on my computer, but I reduced that down to practically once every other week or so.
And allow me to interject just before. So when you don't play video games and you work on the things that you're interested in, your self-esteem and self-value goes up, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, Joe, when you do play video games, your self-esteem doesn't fluctuate whether you do or you don't.
Absolutely
right?
not.
That's what I'm so I think the key factor to keep in mind is, are we doing things that continue to improve our self-esteem? And really, at the end of the day, that's all that really matters, right? It's about, because happiness is fleeting.
Well, yeah, if we're talking about happiness, then yeah, play video games, it makes you happy.
Right.
But if we're talking about just work ethic and
that's if people's goals
yeah.
are aligned to do things on that, like in that nature, because for some people, really, like, for example, like for all the shit that I do, I spend a lot of time wondering if I'm like, is this going to contribute to my overall happiness?
Which, yeah.
Because sometimes I worry that I'm a workaholic,
And I'm not, and not to even support Joe. Even Elon Musk said in an interview that he plays first-person shooters for an hour. I think it's like every day or something like that, just to make sure it's a part of his, schedule.
Right.
So there you go.
Fuck you.
And
Still,
Elon Musk is a fucking billionaire.
Well, he probably doesn't even need to do shit. So whatever. That's why I asked Joe. I have my opinions.
But I know what you were getting at. And again, that's why I was like, well, it's a question of self-esteem, and are we doing the things that are esteemable acts within our own context, right? Like, so you're right, because there's no one size fits all. Joe has other things that determine his self-esteem fluctuations, like as we all do as humans, and from what I gather, just looking at Joe and like, I don't often ask him personally, right? But he seems to be doing fine. But Joe's also the type of guy that'll never let you know if he's not doing fine.
Really? Is that you?
Damn.
Oh shit! He hit the chord.
So there's rare moments.
Sometimes I do.
There's rare moments. In fact, Joe was even mentioning what happened with work, and that one time he was like, "Well, shit, that actually affected me more than I thought it was going to." And then
you told me about your father, which you say you never did, but I know you did multiple times. We were just us two in the car, but I remember being in the car. You telling me about it.
So everybody has things that determines the fluctuation of the self-esteem, right? But for me, for example, and maybe for you as well, maybe Joe doesn't place his self-worth on the things that he does or doesn't do, whereas like you and I, Keenan, a lot of our self-value and self-worth, at least I'm assuming, because for me it's true, that like if I'm not producing something and doing something like that I think is impactful and like valuable, I don't feel happy. So it's not out of the goodness of my heart and shit. Like I literally need to do that to feel good.
Well, for me, I like playing video games. Makes me feel good. It makes me happy. If we're talking about happiness,
sure.
But if we're talking about,
but it's a double-edged sword for you, because if you're playing video games, you also feel like you didn't accomplish shit.
Exactly. Just like my relationship and sex life and.
Interesting.
Okay, so
but yes, you're right. Yeah, it is a double-edged sword for me.
There's a lot of shit like that for everyone. You know what I mean? Like Joe knows more than anybody. I used to be video gamer fucking extraordinaire, and they used to make fun of me for liking video game music. That's how much I was into it.
Yeah, he had like a CD with like all the Sonic tracks.
Oh, really?
And yeah,
you would love Anamanaguchi.
No, I'm sure I would.
Oh.
But he doesn't have time to listen to music, all right?
No, or go to a concert.
There was a book named 100. You fucking assholes! Everyone's eyes just roll over. Do you know how often I say this sentence?
Yeah, I made it a clip of the week. It was great.
You did?
Yeah, you don't look at my clip of the week.
There's one where I say there was a book over and over.
Yeah, it starts off like that.
Bitch, is there a whole running joke that I don't even know about?
Don't play for you after the show.
You know what? Probably because we don't have followers on YouTube. They haven't mentioned it to me yet.
Oh, you hitting my YouTube shit?
No, I think
getting that going.
No, I think it's great because you're actually producing the content that we've documented here.
Oh yeah.
But,
and extra stuff.
Without getting too far away from the point I wanted to make, though, and this is important because a mother of 4 children who happens to be Anglo-Saxon, sure, but she is white.
Oh, okay, sorry,
right?
Yeah.
Keenan was like, he looked like what? Yes, she happens to be white, but she also is a mother of 4 kids, and she's sustaining them all herself. She wrote a book called 167 Hours, I believe it is, which is like the amount of hours there is in a week. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, please. But that was essentially the name of the title, however many hours are in a week, right? And she basically talks about how she was trying to schedule an interview with a boss lady, another boss lady who is clearly successful, and because she wanted to learn, like, what is your secret to managing time, right? While she was writing this book. And this is exactly how she opens the book. And so what happened was she couldn't book this boss lady for fucking 3 months. When she finally books the boss lady, she's like, hey, I just have a question before we start the interview. It was really hard to get a hold of you. And I'm kind of curious, why was that? Usually people are pretty gung-ho about it. And she was like, well, it just wasn't my priority. She's like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I don't believe in managing time. I believe in managing priorities, right? So at the time when you were reaching out to me, nowhere on my list of priorities was it a priority to have someone sit here and interview me. It wasn't about time. It was about priorities. Am I getting through? It looks like, yeah. And so this goes out, like, and she goes on to like list how, like, even if you're a mom of 4, you can find a time, whether it's earlier or later in the day. Obviously, it's preferably earlier in the day while you still have your good energy, opposed to the end of the day when you wasted most of your energy on everybody else, to sort of work on the thing that makes your self-esteem improve, the dream that you have, right? But if you don't have a latent dream in your heart that you're not pursuing and you're not affected by it, then fucking do whatever you want that makes you happy. Like,
goddamn right.
Like, there's a lot of shit that I want to do that I want to make sure I tried to do before I die, just so that I don't throw resentment upon the people I love the most because it's my fucking fault that I didn't go after what I want. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing that builds up slowly and becomes the cancer in every relationship you have. I know because the last relationship I had, sure, we all have our faults in a relationship, but to a large degree, my faults came and stemmed from my own unhappiness with who I was as a person and how much I actually accomplished. Because the minute the relationship was over, well, look what happened. I actually published my book. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to really go for my shit, you know? And because I don't want to end up being that person later on who resents someone because, I'm not going after my dreams. You know, I want to be that fucking dad that's trying to make the kid play the football league because he couldn't fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like,
what are you trying to say?
Hey, I'm not saying shit, dude.
I'm lost, dude.
What are you trying to say?
If you're feeling attacked, that's on you, bro. I didn't say shit.
Because I want Gavin to be a professional gamer.
Did you? Hey! Did you want to be a professional gamer or something, bro? I don't know, dude. All I'm saying is don't die with your dreams inside you, to quote Melrose.
So then what would you do if the end of the world was happening? What would be the last thing?
Honestly, I would go peacefully because I've been fucking working my ass off, man, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, man.
So you wouldn't do anything?
Yeah.
That was my cop out. You gave me shit for that.
No. I said I would die in peace, but I didn't tell you what I would do.
What would you do?
I'd be kicking it with y'all. What do you mean?
Hey.
Doing our podcast?
I'd probably jamming out. I'd probably be giving a speech, in a book.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen,
is it the soapbox? Oh,
it's about that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the soapbox.
Oh, I thought you were joking again.
No, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's you. You're the one that does the soapbox now.
I do?
Don't you do the intro now?
No?
Or is it you, Filthy?
Wait, do we have a conversation about
filthy.
this?
It's Filthy. Filthy does. He's been doing it lately, so
it doesn't even. I mean, since when did we actually assign any rules?
No, we didn't.
I
But you've been doing it lately, so we kind of.
But you just automatically give me a rule.
I'm sorry.
Well, Keenan, if you had some ambition and you stepped up,
I knew you were about to say some shit. I knew it. Fuck you.
Don't die with your dreams
you.
inside you, man. Seriously.
I wish
right.
I was incisive.
So we've reached the area, the segment of the podcast where we do what we do. As you know, if you're listeners, regular listeners, we sit here and say whatever the fuck we want without interruption, like we always do. In fact, our whole podcast is a soapbox. But anyways, and then if you're new to this means we're basically reenacting what people used to do when they would stand in the middle of town square on a little apple box and say, "Hear ye, hear ye. This is what you should know 40 and blah, blah, blah years ago." And so, this is basically our version of that. Not as righteous, though. In fact, it might be filled with devilish fun. Keenan, you get the ball. Go ahead.
Hear ye, hear ye. 7 years ago, Keenan was on a plane to Vegas.
Hey.
And my soapbox is for all you assholes who don't sit in your goddamn seat. You have an assigned fucking seat. It says the name on the seat, not name, number, with the letter. I'm pretty sure you can, understand letters and numbers. And I don't get how you can't sit in your own fucking seat. It says it on your ticket. You can get some help if you need to. but you wouldn't believe the amount of people I saw that had to move from their original seat to where somebody else was supposed to be sitting. And I was like, what the fuck? So, fuck you and sit in your proper seat in an airplane. And that way we don't have to get delayed. We can go. And Vegas was cool. Saw a lot of titties in Vegas. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I saw the light. I saw the nips. I saw the light. I saw Pandora's box out there. And definitely made me want to be more productive so I can make some money and go back. But yes, sit in your goddamn seat. It's on your ticket. Don't take somebody else's seat. And be early to your flight. Don't be late. Fucking making us wait. All right. That's my soapbox. Bitches. Keenan out.
Short and sweet.
All right. I guess that's my turn, right? I just want to say thank you to everyone that's purchased the book. I've got over 40 sales, more than I ever thought I'd sell. That's fucking insane. I'm so grateful. And everyone's always so excited to show me that they got the book. I got all the pictures and I just have nothing but thank yous for that. Really means a lot to me. It's constantly making me see that what my work in life should really be. I've always doubted it, but it's because of that I've been working on some other shit too that I'll share with you guys as more progress happens, of course. And then obviously, for those of you waiting for the audiobook, I did publish it, but Amazon takes about 30 business days apparently to decide whether or not it's going to be releasing it. However, I did also reach out to another company and I'm having that published and more news on that. If you guys did buy the book and haven't got a chance to read it, the audiobook would be an easy way for you to get ahead of schedule there and check out what's going on. Got a lot of amazing feedback. A lot of people have told me that in one way or another, it pointed something out to them that may not have been so obvious or that they knew, but they really needed to hear in the way that I said it, which is fucking crazy to me. So I have nothing but gratitude to extend to all of you for, first of all, listening to the podcast, for supporting the fact that I released a book and going so far as to buy the book. And now if I could just get you to leave me some reviews on Amazon, we can get your boy to get some what is the word I'm looking for?
Notoriety?
Some kind of notoriety so that I can use that to then reach out to the Boys and Girls Club and show them why I should be able to speak to the youth of this world and help them become the greatest version of themselves. If you guys believe in that and you did buy the book, please leave me a review and an honest one. Talk about the spelling errors that were in the book. I don't care. Just be honest because that's what I need. Good or bad, I'm with it. Just be honest. That's my soapbox.
Thank you, Philip. I'll close out the show.
Bring us home, Joe.
Bring us home. But you know what? I don't have to bring you if we're already here.
Oh,
You son of a bitch. I'm in. All right. Well, you guys know that I've been on my anime binge recently. I've been watching as much anime as I can. But I found myself in a bit of a stalemate. I've kind of paused and I've been trying to catch up on like other shit that I've meant to finish. Like I just finished the Righteous Gemstones, which is a show by Danny McBride. It has a great cast, which some of the names are escaping me right now. But just finished that. Started watching Last Week Tonight again with John Oliver, which is a really good show. I started watching Avenue 5, which is Hugh Laurie, the guy that used to play House. He has a show on HBO with what's this guy's name? Zach? No, not Zach. The I can't remember his name. Anyway, it has a great cast. It's not as funny as I'd like it to be, but you know, it's okay. I'm enjoying it, and I want to see how the story plays out. So I'm watching that. One thing that I did do that I didn't have an opportunity to talk about, but I really that dude, Josh Gad, and Zach Woods too. Zach Woods is a great guy, great actor. He played what's his name in Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah,
can't remember. Really tall dude, really weird. He plays the complete opposite of that in this show, which is nice to see because he's always traditionally played the same kind of character. But now he's like a fucking dick and it's great. But going back, Gavin and I went and saw the My Hero Academia movie. And we fucking loved it. It was a great movie. It's funny because once we finished the movie and we were walking out, I asked Gavin his take on it and how he felt about it, and he was like, "Oh, I really loved it." He's like, "I almost cried like twice," and he's like, "But I really loved it. It was really good." He's like, "But you know what? I kind of found it a little redundant." And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I found it a little redundant." And you know me, I'm like, Gavin knows a lot of words, and sometimes I have to question whether or not he knows what they mean. So I was like, "What do you mean by that, bud?" And he's like, "Well, it just reminded me a lot of like the first movie. There are two guys with the same power, and they're both heroes, and then there's this guy that has a power, and that guy has almost the same power as this villain." And he's like, it was just a little redundant. I felt like I was watching the same movie. It was better, but it was very similar to the other movie. And I'm like, "All right, kid. All right. You know what redundant means." And it was just it was a moment where I'm like, wow, my son is fucking he understands what the fuck he's talking about. Like, and when I was 8 years old, I did not fucking know what redundant meant. Like, I didn't even know. I didn't even I could say the word. I'm pretty sure I never said that word once in my life when I was 8 years old. So I just thought, even today, like I don't use redundant that often. Like, I'll use it here and there, but prior to Wednesday when Gavin said it, I can't remember the last time I said something was redundant. I'd be like, that shit was the same. Like, so it's just, I really like that my son can comprehends words and uses them accordingly. And it's just great. I've also recently gotten to spend a lot more time with my daughter, which is great. I've been, because for a while, she really wouldn't fuck with me. Like, she, it would take her some time to like grow on me again, for me to grow on her. And it was just, and this, I get why, because I was always busy and I would be out of town a lot and all these things. But, in the recent weeks, I've gotten to spend a lot more time with her. And now, like, I don't really have to struggle to get her to love me or show me love. Now it's like, come here, and she'll like, happily do it, which is great. So appreciate my kids. They're fucking dope. And going back to the show thing, I've been trying to catch up on old shows. And there's some, I really have to catch up on Legion. I watched the first season and I probably watched a couple of the episodes from the second season, but never finished it. And I know it's over now. So it's a good time to binge it if I have a chance. And that's all I got.
Short and sweet.
I wasn't that short, but
I was being sarcastic.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 65 of the None of Our Business podcast. We're your hosts, Billy, Keenan, and Joe. This is how we roll.
Motherfucker, 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 motherfucker. Yo, roll down your windows to this shit. Motherfucker, motherfucker, motherfucker. You gotta let everybody around you know. Motherfucker, motherfucker, motherfucker.
Eat your woman out.
Suck your man's dick.
Be nice.